There's a hot rumor in my Patreon community. So this is my all members chat that's exclusive to members that are supporting this channel on a monthly basis. So shout out to everybody who's currently a member, who has been member in the past, and possibly future members. Currently it's not possible to join anymore. I made this group very, very exclusive, and we've got some possible sort of insider information. I'm just kidding, but I think a highly credible rumor about changes about NIO management. So I want to talk about why I think this credible rumor makes a lot of sense and could be a catalyst to NIO stock. So you possibly already guessed it if you watch my channel, because I personally have been calling for such change. I said if I were in the shoes of Li Bin, I would possibly fire the CFO in order to send a sign. Now we've seen lots of consolidation and new people, new heads at NIO management, especially in Europe. Lots of people also have been, leaving the company, frankly. So there has been already lots of change at NIO, and I think that's the result of some mistakes that have been made in the past, some macroeconomic pressure, but also kind of readjusting strategy and also transitioning the company into a new stage of life. And what I'm meaning by that is also, if you look at the CFO position, we had another CFO at NIO that was doing or active during the time of the IPO. And now we have the next CFO who's currently active in the area of, let's say, scaling up and bridging the gap between the Hefei deal and actually ramping up all of the factories and so on. And we might get a new CFO for what's about to come in the future, which might be the path to profitability. We are still waiting for it, but I guess we will start to see this year a start of narrowing net losses for NIO. And maybe in this position, you'll need a new CFO that has a different skill set. So it's not necessarily kind of a, let's say, punishing a person for mistakes that have been made. I mean, you're a team. As a startup, you're a team. You don't blame one person, but it would have several benefits if there would actually be a change in the position of the CFO, in my opinion, which is, first of all, to investors. I think there have been mistakes being made in the way guidance and also some certain milestones have been communicated in the past and then not been achieved, that led to lots of disappointment. And currently we are recovering from that, right? So we have now, as I said in my last video, lots of promises that are suddenly getting fulfilled, like the 150 kilowatt hour battery, the development on NIO autonomous driving, and the sales are catching up again. The last thing that we are waiting for, obviously, now is the financials to improve. And that hasn't shown yet. And we had all of those issues and matters with the way capital is being raised and so on, and deteriorating NIO financials in the last couple of months. And so, if I were in the position of Li Bin, I would just send a signal and say, look, this is my scapegoat. We need some change, and the future is going to be different at NIO. And I will make this very public by making a change in this position. And so while there are many keyboard warriors like myself or opinion leaders who are advising Li Bin how to do stuff, and he's not in an easy position to actually do so, because there's lots of things to decide and he's not making easy decisions, right? So it's easy for me to say something like this, but now that I'm hearing that people in my Patreon community who have also their own due diligence and more insight, and I talk to people in China on the ground, and it sounds like we are getting this change at leadership at the CFO position, I would say that would be a very positive news and catalyst to the stock, because, as I said, it would rebuild trust with investors. There's maybe different skill set needed in order to make this company profitable, and simply, there has been too many mistakes in the past with this position, and maybe there's some new blood, new faces necessary in order to do that. I'm not 100% sure it's going to happen, but it sounded to me that is quite credible. And as I mentioned before, I do think it would be the right step. That doesn't mean that Li Bin also will think this way, but we might get this news soon, and then it wouldn't come as a surprise to me. And I would say I'm glad they're doing that. Hopefully, we're gonna see that very, very soon. What could be the time for that? Maybe around earnings. It could be announced during earnings. With the earnings report, they can usually print a line and say that will be the last earnings call and so on. That's what happened, for example, at Tesla and so on. But you can also get that very in between. We'll see. With now having new big investors with Abu Dhabi, a new board and so on, they might have a say in all of that. And maybe there's a little bit of a transition phase in between. But maybe you will see that very soon. And that would be great news, in my opinion. What do you think? Thanks for watching and see you in my next videos.